I've had the great pleasure of meeting Joel Dullroy today. Joel's a expat Australian that's been living in Berlin for quite a number of years, and Joel's the founder of Group Estate in Berlin. And I wanted to spend a couple of minutes just talking to Joel about some of the key issues that they're finding in Berlin about co-operative and the Baugruppen. And I think we've boiled it down to a couple of key issues, and just going to spend a minute or two with Joel to talk about his observations about the Baugruppen and cooperative effort in Berlin. Joel?
Sure. Thank you for having me.
It's a great pleasure.
So I co-founded Group Estate, which is a platform where people can join together to buy property collectively as a group. The idea was I wanted to buy my own apartment together with my housemates, so we tried to create a platform that could facilitate that. We built the platform, we put it online. It's still online today. We have lots of people using it, although unfortunately the biggest problem was that there aren't enough properties on there. So everybody wants to join in, but there's not enough Baugruppen or not enough objects for people to join. And that's because we have quite tight land supply right now in Berlin, and what we really need is for governments to be able to prioritize Baugruppen and community projects and give them more access to land. Whenever a local government was selling off a piece of land, if they put on a caveat that said this land should go to a group that is self-organized, is owned by its members, or is a not-for-profit project, then we would have a better chance to be able to build more community-based, socially beneficial housing rather than only speculative property.
Well, it sounds, Joel, like the similarities between the larger Australian cities and what you're experiencing here in Berlin is exactly the same. It's the enthusiasm's there and the cooperative spirit is here, but it's obviously a factor about land supply. You've got the subscribers, but the pipeline is tricky.
Yes, it is. It's the same here, but Berlin has a great history of this because 10% of the housing stock of Berlin is owned by housing cooperatives. That is a company that is owned by the members. The people who rent the property are the co-owners of the property. They have long-term stable leases. They never have massive rent increases, and they can't be evicted. So that's the benefit of joining a housing cooperative here in Germany. And we also have Baugruppen, groups of co-owners, people who build together. They basically are co-developers of a piece of land, together with an architect. And in both those cases, you need someone who can organize the process. And so that's where we need more architects who are familiar with the concept of Baugruppen or cooperatives to be able to actually start these projects and organize them, facilitate them, curate them, and also local governments who are willing to prioritize giving land to these groups. Because otherwise it's only the developers will get hold of the properties, and then there's no chance then for alternative models. But alternative models do exist. We've got a history of it here in Berlin, and there's no reason those models can't be also used in Australia. What we need is a slight change of mindset, because if you join together in a housing cooperative, you're never going to win big. It's not a lottery ticket. You're not going to be able to double your investment money and sell in a couple of years and make a fortune. So
it's basically ensuring that you've got a roof over your head as you age in place.
Yes,
I guess is the theory, isn't it? Yeah.
And there's some who say, and I will be one of them, that that's what housing should be: a reliable place to live and raise your family and live near where you work. Not an object that can be, it's not a speculative object. It shouldn't be something that can be gambled on. That's where we lead to massive housing price increases, and where we lead to younger generations being priced out of property. If we change the mindset and say, no, the housing is actually a place where people should live and should be affordable, and we have models that can make it so, well, then we can use it. But what it does require is that for people to give up the idea of ever being a property mogul and owning 3 investment properties and living off the proceeds of rent. What you need is people to be able to say, okay, we will be happy to put some money into a cooperative, have a place to live, it'll be affordable, and it'll be sustainable.
not such a radical idea in my theory as well, Joel. I think it's quite a meritorious way of thinking. Also, I really, just wrapping up, I really appreciate your contribution to our conversation, and I appreciate your willingness to share some time. I think that the interesting bit is, I guess, in the wrap-up is that you've used the word curation, which is acting like a curator. We've used the word facilitator the last couple of weeks, and I really like the different word, but it describes the same thing. I think it's important for people to provide the ability and to be able to steer and support groups of people that are really looking to find a way to secure their housing future.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Joel.
Good luck, Gerard.
Thanks very much for your time.